Welcome to What's Buzzing with Jason Busbin. Today is May 2nd. So this is going to be our last video of the semester. Thanks for watching all the ones we've done previously. But for this one, we wanted to do something a little bit special. So we had our administrators come in and they sat in my office and recorded. We wanted to get their perspectives and their hacks and snacks, their microbytes, and their stingers. We had some pretty good responses, so sit back and enjoy.
Let's see. The tools I use a pencil, I use pens and paper, I use some kind of a navigation app that gets me from here to the district office. That's a phone app. It's texting. Is that an app?
I make lists and then I ignore my list and then the deadline comes and then I take things off the list as the deadlines get closer and closer. I respond to my email at sort of multiple times a day. So like the first part of the morning when I get here I do my email, and then the midday I do my email, and then right before I leave I do my email. So that I don't have a ton of email messages. But then I leave them all there because I have to follow up. And so that makes me kind of crazy because I have like 11,000 emails. Jessica Lopez Munoz is a hack because she does everything for me. Hiring people who are especially productive is a hack.
Yes, I do. Thank you for that question. The Golden Chick is about 1.5 miles away, and you can get a 3-piece dark meat special and a large cup of iced tea for about $3 or $4.
I like that that place next to Good Friend. I like Good Friend, but the 20 Feet Seafood Place, 20 Feet Seafood Place. I don't know what it's called, but it's right there on PV, right next to Good Friend.
I think you'll see classrooms in hallways. I think you'll see classrooms outside. I think you'll see classrooms in offices. I think that the whole concept of a class will be completely redefined. I don't think that there will still be traditional classrooms, I believe, certainly. But I believe that what we call a classroom will be just wide open. It can be anywhere there's enough space to get a few people together to have a conversation. We'll start to call that a classroom.
Well, I think it's really important that our classrooms have a loungy, kind of comfy feel. And they need to have technology. I mean, you guys do such a great job with our classrooms and outfitting them with technology. But going forward, I think that one of the things that we need to have is we need to have computers, that we need to have students have laptops or some sort of tool that's in their hands at all times. My kid is in 4th grade and he engages with Google Classroom. He's always got all sorts of interactive materials using technology. They all have iPads. So the future of higher ed classrooms has to certainly be prepared for a generation of students that has had nothing but that kind of technological integration. So I think, coupling the room style into more lounge space along with hands-on technology is going to be what we're going to have to do going forward.
This move to online education needs to be thought out in new ways, because it's far more than just taking content and putting it in some sort of an online environment where it's some attempt at making the classroom as a classroom be online. There's more to it than that. I think that online education is something that we need to think through more clearly, because it's we have some good online classes. There's some really good online work that takes place, but in general, I think, and I don't mean just Eastfield College, I mean throughout the district and actually throughout the country, the concept, the idea of online education, I think needs to be thought through more clearly.
Well, I was just watching a webinar on inclusivity and diversity and equity, and I think that for a while there was this phase in the 90s where it was really important. There was a lot of focus on multiculturalism, and there was a surge in hiring faculty to teach interdisciplinary courses. And then I think interdisciplinary courses, or even African American focus, or Latin American focused courses, or gender-based courses. And I think that we've gotten a little bit away from that. I think there's this sense that there's not the need to have that kind of thematic or that focus, and I think that's missing. I think that right now, especially in the climate, the political climate that we're living in, there's a lot of divisiveness and a lot of ugly language and some real polarization. And I think that education can play a big role in transforming how people communicate and see one another. And so I think that with us focusing again, making some more effort to focus on providing targeted opportunities for learning, we won't see gaps in student success between people of color and white people, and other poverty initiatives, things like that. So I'm hoping that's going to change, and I'm hoping that, so I guess the thing that I don't like is that it disappeared, and what I'm hoping is that the trends will move back in the direction of improving.
I think it's important for us to continue, as we're trying to do throughout higher education, to tie strategic plans of the colleges to the work that takes place in the classroom. And could be a bit controversial, I suppose, because it gets into the question of the purpose of the college, right? We're here to educate, we're here to teach certain things in our classrooms, but there is now the other side of that coin, which I'm becoming more familiar with, which is the success of the institution. And so what I don't think has happened historically in higher education is that those two things have been married. And I think increasingly the trend is to try to figure out ways to marry those two parts of what we do up here, because particularly in the environment and the culture that we're in today, as glorious and wonderful as this is, and there I'm talking about simply teaching in a classroom, and I'm all about that, if we don't take care of the other side of this, the business side of this, this won't continue. And so there has to be this merging of these two worlds. Higher education is trying to figure that out. They're pretty halting steps that are being taken, though. It's a tough question.
I think it is a good idea, and I think that having students have a sense of the direction they're going is really important. I think that we need to be more aware of getting ahead of the students that we're getting, the pathways that we're developing, and the pathways that we're working with now are contextualized in what already exists. So we're developing pathways for majors that we know, but I think it would be really awesome if we could project further and really imagine what future jobs will be, what experiences people will need in higher ed to do their jobs. That's not to say that I don't think we need to still focus on having students complete sort of general education requirements, because I think that everybody should have sort of a foundational education. But I just don't know if we're being creative enough with our planning, but then maybe I just don't know how creative people are being. I'm just seeing some really specific pathways happening, and maybe there's the opportunity for some of us to get together and come up with a creative pathway that identifies something that we're not even thinking of. One of my favorite movies is well, I love Cool Runnings. And I love that movie, that girl surfer movie, Blue Crush. I love that movie.
A TV show that I watched that actually, I think there were only 1 or 2 seasons and it's already stopped, but I'm waiting for it to pick back up again. That might surprise folks. Is a British show. It's called Doc Martin.
HQ show, which I won last night. You know, that game, those 12 questions. I won 55 cents. Twitter. I'm trying to tweet. I'm trying to.
I frequent the website called The Score, which keeps me up to date on various games that are being played in all sports. One of the best books I've read recently is it's a book called Radical Candor, and it's a book about how to be a better manager by being more honest, in fact by being brutally honest. But the book is about how to do that without completely alienating everyone who's around you.
Yes, I love to cook. Tortilla soup, ratatouille, meatloaf, banana bread. I make great banana bread. That's not a dish, but you know, people love it. Yeah. And tacos. Taco Tuesday. We have those shredded, the kind of crock pot shredded ones, but I use the Trader Joe's green verde sauce. It's killer.
I love to cook, and I'm really pretty good at it. My signature dish is is chicken and dumplings. And if you've not ever had that, you need to just give me a call and come on over, because this is not like the chicken and dumplings that you get up here at the what's that place called? Well, you get them right up here, but it's not like that. It's real chicken and real dumplings. It's great.
Like Cracker Barrel?
Cracker Barrel was where I was trying to point everybody to.
Well, there was one time I made a cake and didn't take the wrapper off the butter. And so it wasn't very good. People were like, it tasted good, just had butter paper in it. So maybe that was just it was sort of an absent-minded bad dish, but it wasn't what I wanted to happen. But now I always take the butter paper off.
The first time I made my famous chicken and dumplings, what I didn't know very well was how to size the dumplings. And so my first preparation of chicken and dumplings, the dumplings were far larger than the pieces of chicken. They were huge. It was like chicken and cake or something. I don't know what it was, but it was terrible.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this special edition of What's Buzzing with Jason Busbin. We'll see you when we come back after summer.